Okay, so hello everyone. In this video, we will cover application layer protocols. So, in this video, we will discuss HTTP, FTP, SMTP, and POP. And at last, we will discuss persistent HTTP versus non-persistent HTTP. Although we have discussed all the protocols of application layer in our previous videos, but in this video, we will discuss some of them in more details. Usually, the application layer has many protocols, thousands of protocols. But if we talk about it, especially from competitive exam point of view, one of the most important is DNS, HTTP protocol. Other than that, there is FTP protocol, SMTP, and POP protocol. Okay, these are majorly important from competitive exam point of view. Okay, so first talk about HTTP protocol. So first, if we talk about HTTP protocol, the port number used is 80. HTTP protocol used 80 port number. You must have heard HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which is widely used to transfer and fetch the web pages on www.com. So HTTP protocol is used for requesting web pages, uploading data, and posting on server. All these works are done using HTTP protocol. Okay, port number is 80. If someone asks whether HTTP is reliable protocol or not, HTTP protocol is not reliable on itself. Okay, if we see its header and talk about its functionality, it is not reliable on itself. It does not have any functionality inside it to ensure that data should not be lost or should be retransmitted if some data is lost. So whose functionality does it use? It uses TCP in transport layer to achieve reliability. Remember these small points. Okay, HTTP protocol uses TCP transport layer protocol to achieve reliability. Okay, then it is called an in-band protocol. In-band protocol means we send commands first. We don't access web pages directly. Okay, both commands and data emerge from same port number. Remember, it is the in-band protocol. In-band protocol means there is just one port number from which commands will travel and from which data will travel. Okay, this is not there in FTP protocol, file transfer protocol, which we will talk about after this. Okay, then it is stateless. Stateless, like stateful, means whoever is accessing through HTTP will store its information. Okay, so HTTP doesn't do this work. Okay, it is a stateless protocol. It doesn't save information. Okay, what is the reason for that? There are millions billions of requests and all the requests are going through HTTP. So if it keeps saving all the requests, all the information, big delay will occur. Okay, but there are many companies like Amazon, Flipkart. These companies use the concept of cookies. They keep cookies in which all the information is stored. Like when you turn on Amazon, if you check the product on Amazon and you close after that, then what will happen? The information will be saved on cookies. So by default, HTTP is stateless, but many companies try to make it stateful on their end, like through cookies. Then if we talk about it, it is used in two ways. It has two variations which are non-persistent and persistent. I will explain it in detail, but for basic example, non-persistence means whenever you open any number of connection in IRCTC, like first you went to reservation, then you went to catering, then check the trains. For each new connection, for each new web page, same number of connection are created at backend. Okay, the number of web pages that you open internally, same number of links gets open. Okay, and you like close the application, the connection is immediately lost. So connection lost means when you open the next time, you have to fill username again and password again. Okay, like in HDFC, ICIC banks, online banking too. Okay, when you turn on web pages and fill the information, if you stop the transition in between and open again, then you have to fill the information from the start again. Okay, this is the functionality of non-persistence. And the persistent, a simple example of persistent is Gmail. Let's say you filled username and password and closed it. Now if you open after 1 month or 1 year, mails are open directly. Okay, you don't have to fill username password again and again. Its connection is persistent and will be maintained after closing, but in non-persistent it will terminate immediately. So that was the basic difference between persistent and non-persistent. Next we have various commands, small commands like head, get, post, put, delete, connect. It's basically that metadata. Okay, if you are accessing a web page, that web page has data, but it also has metadata, meaning the information related to data. Get means complete web page has to be accessed, which is widely used command. Okay, post, if you want to post some information, if you are filling a form, you are giving some information to web page. Put works in the same manner when you have to upload the some information. Okay, delete means you are deleting some information. Connect is used to when you use HTTPS. And the difference between HTTP and HTTPS is that HTTPS works on secured socket layer in which username and password is checked in each request. Okay, because if there is a chance of hacking, if someone is trying to hack the traffic or hijack the session, those chances are minimized. So What does it do? It checks username and password authentication again and again. If in today's time, if you see maximum website that you open, even if you enter http google.com, it does the https by default just for security purpose. Now the next protocol is FTP protocol. Next we will talk about FTP protocol, file transfer protocol. Now if you want to transfer file to remote side, then you use the FTP protocol. It's real life application like FileZilla, Tectia. Now what these applications do is, let's say you are sitting in Chandigarh and you have to transfer a file online, or let's say you have to host a website. Then while hosting a website, you have to send the file on the server. When you will send the file on server, you use file transfer protocol, FTP. What file transfer protocol does, it makes two part in your machines. One is for your machine, the other will show the server's machine. Okay, now what to do? You first use port number 21 to send control commands to establish a connection, and after that port number 20 is used for sending data. Okay, you will connect the data through the control commands. File transfer protocol is not in band basically. Okay, we don't call it in band. HTTP is in band, FTP is not. Why is not? Because it uses two port numbers. So with one port number control commands, and with second port number data. Okay, control and data can be used parallelly in FTP. Then we talk about control connection in persistent. Control connection is persistent, meaning if you stop along the way, even if you delay in between, you didn't send data for some time, didn't send information for some time, so control connection will remain established. But data connection is non-persistent, data connection will be lost. Okay, you have to again establish data connection for security purposes. It is reliable. FTP needs reliability. Why reliability? Because files are being transferred. Even if a single byte is lost, file may not be open. Okay, it also uses TCP protocol to achieve reliability, and it is stateful. Stateful means if two users are transferring files between them, you transferred file on remote login, so which file when transferred, what was the size, each and every information is saved. Okay, so FTP is reliable, non-inbound, stateful, data connection is non-persistent, control connection is persistent. Okay, now other than this, we have SMTP and POP. Next we have SMTP and POP, simple mail transfer protocol and post office protocol. Simple mail transfer protocol is for simple mailing. Today Gmail, Yahoo Mail, Hotmail, we use many mail server. These all are web based mails, but at the back end, how are mails transferred? Through SMTP protocol. Okay, if asked between SMTP and FTP is synchronous. Synchronous means if two people are transferring files between them, both should be active, but it is not in the case of SMTP. What happens in case of mail? It is not like that the person you are sending the mail should be active also, like should be also be online. Okay, you simply send the mail whenever the person is online. When he is connected to net, he will read the mail, he will receive the mail. Okay, so this asynchronous feature is very good in SMTP. In SMTP uses port number 25. It is basically used for pushing the mail. SMTP used to push the mail, and POP used to pop, yeah, to withdraw the mail. Okay, how does it work? The first entity that comes is mail client. It fetches mail from the user, and from this mail client the information goes to MTA, mail transfer agent. Okay, and from mail transfer agent it goes to another mail transfer agent, and from there mail client picks it up and shows it to the user. Okay, so the work of SMTP basically is the mail that we compose using Outlook or different browsers. That mail goes to client, mail client pushes that to mail transfer agent. From there it gets pushed to other mail transfer agent. Okay, let's say you are using Gmail and other person is using Yahoo. So basically there is @gmail.com, @yahoo.com. Okay, gmail.com has its own mail transfer agent. Similarly yahoo.com has its own mail transfer agent. Okay, you compose a mail, that mail is sent to mail client. From there it gets pushed to mail transfer agent. From there it gets pushed to other mail transfer agent. From there we do POP, post office protocol. So what POP does, it picks up the mail from mail transfer agent and gives it to the mail client. Mail client will show it to user, so you will see the mail. POP uses POP3 protocol. It also uses two ports. Port number 110 is the default POP3 port number, which is non-encrypted, and 995 is the port number which you need to connect using POP securely. Okay, if you want to use securely with encryption, then use 995. Without encryption, by default the one that is used is POP3, which is 110 port number. Now let me explain the differences between persistent and non-persistent HTTP with the real life example and numerical example to clear all the points. Okay, so now moving forward to persistent and non-persistent HTTP. persistent HTTP, which we call HTTP 1.1, and non-persistent HTTP is called HTTP 1.0. See, what persistent mean? Persistent means adamant. Okay, if we talk about a simple point, you send a request, you get a response, even after that connection remains established. Okay, connection will not be discontinued. Non-persistent means as one request and one response comes, it breaks the connection right away. Okay, remember the first point, either HTTP is persistent or non-persistent. It uses TCP protocol. Okay, it uses transmission control protocol because it wants reliability. What do we make first in TCP? We make a connection. After making the connection, we transfer the data. Making connection is the first thing here, and like that too. Okay, but what persistent means? One object came to you, you don't have to make connection again for the second one. Okay, you will get the second object, you will get the third one. In case of non-persistent, you got one object, after making the connection, then make a connection again for another object. Okay, then again make a connection for third object. This is how non-persistent works. If we talk about servers leaves connection open after sending response. It requires 2 RTT, round trip time. Now what is round trip time? Round trip time is 2 times propagation delay. You left your house, after roaming you came back to house again, so the time taken is RTT, round trip time. And what is propagation time? That you left your house and reached the destination, that is propagation delay. We are talking about round trip. Okay, source to destination, destination to source again. Okay, a cycle is called 1 RTT. In persistent case, let's say this is client, this is server. What will client form first? It will form a connection. Okay, to form a connection, it sent a request, a response came, 1 RTT is used to make connection. Okay, now after that what will happen? Let's say you access from client machine, access the web pages. Because we use HTTP to access the web page, to access the web page you formed a connection. As you form the connection, first the HTML file, text file, the base file, which is the base of web page, will actually get transferred. So obviously first you formed a connection. After forming the connection, you said that I need the base file. Okay, you will get the base file. One extra RTT will be used for the base file, which we call HTTP or text file. Now txt file. Okay, your basic web page will take 1 RTT to come. Okay, so the story is same in both. Base file comes here, base file comes here, same is happening. Now let's say there are two images in the base file that I want to access. In that base file, that web page, there are two objects further that I want to access. Okay, what will happen in case of persistent? Your connection is established, you have received the base file. Okay, now what will you do? One object, two object, three object, any number of object, two files, paragraph, video, whatever. Okay, that will take one more RTT. Okay, and all objects that it has, two images, three images, you will get all of them. Okay, this is how this story happens in persistent. But what happens in non-persistent case? You get the base file, you get the HTTP txt file. Now after that, connection has to be established again. One RTT will be spent. Okay, you will establish the connection again. Now image number one, because you accessed one image, like you accessed one image, so you get one image and it will take one RTT again. Okay, so you will get an image one through this way. Okay, the first image. Now what will happen? You have to access another image, another object, so again connection has to be made. Again one RTT is to be used. Okay, then you will get the second image. So you must be understanding the complete story and able to visualize what is the difference between persistent and non-persistent. This is the actual difference. Overhead will be less in persistent case, in non-persistent overhead will be more. And always if you talk about Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Firefox, Opera, okay, all these use persistent. In persistent case, we don't keep connection forever. If we talk about Firefox, in that 120 or 125 second idle time is present. Okay, if you are idle for that duration, connection may get terminated. Okay, this provide 20% more performance as compared to non-persistent, because connection has to be formed again and again in non-persistent. So this is the main difference between persistent and non-persistent HTTP. So that's it for this video. We will meet in next video. Until then, bye bye.